this feels like a really good day to do this because I've just been bipolarly like going back and forth to being really excited for Symbiote Spider-Man to like there's no chance this card has any chance to to be good in modern. So this is in apparently Styx the Augmenter. It's a we'll just call it a black 2/4. We're not using the blue. When it deals combat damage to a player, you look at that many cards from the top of your library, you put one into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. So it's a combination card selection, card advantage, graveyard filler effect. And you can give a creature this ability and put a counter on it from your graveyard for 3 mana. So I kind of waffle back between like, oh, I'm going to surveil over this with Channeler. I'm going to put it on the Channeler. I'm going to hit them. I'm going to untap with a FOMO. I'm going to fill up my graveyard. I'm going to get more Detective Phoenixes. I'm going to get more of the Symbiote Spider-Mans. It's going to be great. And then I'm like, it's like I have to put this card in my deck. But then I'm like, oh, I can Arena of Glory it. And I just really don't know. I just really don't know how good this is. And so I guess that's part of, testing new cards. And I've had this list built since this weekend, and I feel like it's a good time here. All of our win rates and all of our matchups were much higher in grinding leagues and stuff than testing in house. And so when you get everyone playing at a really high level, I think like their true matchup spread kind of comes to exist, if that makes sense. It just becomes like it becomes clear what the actual matchup spread is, as opposed to just random people on Magic Online. There is a Goyf on top, and I wouldn't mind it, but I do think I'm gonna not pass on this turn 1 looting here. But there's another angle to that where deck lists are very weird when it comes to Pro Tours. People play a lot of weird techie cards that are not super indicative of how matchups usually go because they try to compensate for their bad matchups. And so in some extent, like, you're not getting a true representation here. Didn't want to play against Titan, or both. Didn't want to play. Didn't want to talk more about it. I have kind of missed Ibracle World Anew. It seems like I shouldn't be exposing the Goyf to red removal as much, so we should try to do this first. I think we'll go ahead and graveyard here. Not much reason to main phase or upkeep. If a deck is too powerful in the hands of multi-year expert but isn't powerful in the hands of less experienced players, shouldn't that affect the decision on bans? Should we base decisions off the 1% or the average player? In my mind, competitive bans for competitive formats should be based on the competitive players. Also, to say that it's 1% of the Titan players that are playing at this level is not close to the right number. But yeah, I think you should make competitive bans based on competitive play, and I also think that like there is like it feels very much. I had the same attitude as you have when it comes to Legacy, where I was a Legacy Miracles player. Miracles was a really annoying deck, and it also was the best deck in the format. If you were a skilled player with it, it just was much better than everyone, and you could outplay everyone with it. And mediocre Miracles players kept the win percentage down, but your win percentage as like a master of the archetype was really high. It's very, in a lot of ways, a very similar dynamic to the dynamic with Amulet Titan here. And so it's like there have been a few decks like this over the years. Like I think Twin Combo, you could maybe say should have a kind of similar thing, but yeah, like you like Magic is just not a format, I think, where you're supposed to have a win percentage that is disproportionately high. Don't think they're gonna Lava Dart because I think they would have already, right? Maybe I should have second main phase though. Bad Miracles player has also made rounds go 12 minutes every round. Yeah, and then also Titan is a very long, long match kind of deck. Every deck should have a 50% win rate, and that's not what I'm saying either. But it's like you're like, just because other people are not playing a deck at the same level, you know, it's, I don't know. It's just I think it's not that often that like the deck is so complicated that the win percentage is deflated a little bit, and although it's not even really clear that that's the case, but I think you could also make the same argument for Karn Clan Ironworks, is that the skill level was really hard and the win rate was artificially deflated. Like, I just don't think it's a good argument for keeping a deck legal. I don't think that that's ever really been the case, that that's a good argument. Best top deck now is Arena. Yeah, I think Arena. We could also draw Wraith, right? Wraith to bestow the Phoenix. What about the fun aspect of Titan? I don't know. You'll just want to argue. I'm done. No more Titan. Okay, so I think I'm going to go play my fetch land. Attack for 8. Yeah, I think we're just mostly trying to dodge the burn spell. Yeah, I think Modern overall is in good shape. It's never been a perfect format. I don't think it ever will be perfect. Continues to have some problems. I am in general having a good time. We hit our opponent for 8 here. See if we draw like a channeler off the FOMO. Standard being shit could really boost Modern, especially with the top 8 turnout. Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, how bad is Standard? Is Standard continuing to be pretty awful? Okay. Down a game against Prowess. Prowess is also like a big sleeper, I think, in the format. I think it kind of continues to be overlooked. I'm going to bring in the Pyroclasms. I've been liking them a little bit more than I have previously. I mentioned 1 Cecil, 1 Thoughtseize. Oh no, I just need all 4. You just need all 4 Thoughtseizes. Otherwise the Steel Cutters are too good. Maybe we play 2 Cecils. The Cecil in the play is, the life gain can be pretty good. I thought Standard was good. I know that VV Cauldron took over. A lot of people have said that VV Cauldron in current Standard is like the most oppressive deck in a Standard history. I don't know if the metagame has like evolved where anything can beat VV Cauldron. You think VV could be a sideboard juke out of Prowess? No. Like you just don't, like, you can't like what you don't juke into more removal, you know, or like your opponents are going to have all their removal possible against you because you're a creature based aggro deck. You're not going to board into like a lower quality threat and be like, I gotcha. My deck's worse now, you know. Mono red has an okay VV matchup. Everything else just loses. It's tough. There really aren't like any hate cards that like lock it down, or is it just that they get to bounce all the hate cards with the fish card? I think we'll just play a FOMO, discard the Marsh Flats. To me, the funniest thing about Standard is pre-rotation they did a banning of a bunch of cards only to make the worst Standard meta in history. Yeah. I thought Prowess would win the PT. Blink, Titan, Blue-White, Belcher. Such a nice matchup sequence for the deck. I mean, Titan's so play draw for Prowess. Like, you just don't have the interaction, but like you're both turn 3 decks for the most part. But also, like, is Blink good for Prowess? Prowess did do really well. I do think Prowess is like super slept on. I am also like oversleeping on it for sure. Okay, so they don't have a mutagenic growth, so we should be safe-ish to Unholy Heat here. I legit don't think I've ever lost a game to Prowess. What deck do you play? Blink is a lot better since Riddler for Prowess. That's interesting. Yeah, one thing that really surprised me about the PT results was that Prowess had a favorable Boros matchup. That was really not my experience in Modern before that. Down to 6 over there. Yeah, I was surprised Affinity had a positive win rate too, but I do think it makes sense because Affinity had kind of died in the metagame because it was so hated out that there just wasn't a lot of hate for it. And some players were just able to accurately predict that there wasn't going to be a lot of hate. With snares and Murktides and Cyborg Boros matchups, that sounds great tech. So if I top deck a Phoenix, we win. Otherwise, we got a big old Goyf. We got 2 big old Goyfs. So 2 copies of the Abyss in play. I think a lot of the more unprepared gamers default to the Boros to skew the win rate down. Possibly. To be fair, Boros doesn't have the best spot removal to deal with Prowess creatures early. I mean, doesn't it? It has Discharge, at least, and Flage. Both are really good against Prowess. They can play Static Prison. They don't seem to play a lot of them. But you're a Discharge deck. That card's really good against them. The one thing that's kind of weird about Modern right now, and maybe part of the reason why Prowess is so good, is that it really just doesn't feel like the cards like Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, Unholy Heat, Discharge. Like, these kind of effects just aren't that good right now. And I think that is a little bit abnormal for this format. Yeah, Cutter is really good against them, but you just don't always have Cutter keeps. So they fry 1 Goyf alive. They play a Scalding Tarn. A second Unholy Heat would be pretty gross. Pending. So like Pending is like kind of the best of these in my opinion, because against a lot of these decks that aren't playing the creatures like Tron and Titan, you have other targets. So can I haste this Goyf with Arena and then make them double chump? So I can get rid of one of the Fomos, one of the lands, and then the Unholy Heat, and then they go down. Seems like I can Thoughtseize because this will keep the Goyfs at 5/6, and then I can determine if this is a line I want to take. Well, their hand is 2 mutagenic growths. Why didn't they attack? Did they not have an attack? I don't know. Okay, so if I attack with both Goyfs, they're both going to be 5/6s. The biggest thing they can make is a 3/3, so we should get to kill both of these. So if I take a mutagenic growth and then they play a Quarry Steelcutter, then they go flashback Lava Dart, I go down to 8, and then they mutagenic growth. They just have 1 mutagenic growth. Oh, I'm down to 7, down to 5. Then 1 mutagenic growth kills me. They are at 4. I do know that. Don't take Muta. Well, they're at 4. Oh, they're at 4. Okay, I see. They can only cast 1 mutagenic growth. That's the problem. I guess I didn't know they were at 4. So I take a Quarry Steelcutter instead. I haste the Goyf. They go chump chump, or they can go Lava Dart. They can go Lava Dart mutagenic growth, eat a Goyf. Lava Dart mutagenic growth, eat a Goyf, right? Because this will be 5/6. Then they'll be at 2. So they'll have 1 creature in play if that happens, with no spells. No, they'll have 2 creatures in play, but no spells. So I think that would be okay if they did that, right? They would have no castable spells for the Steelcutter. So let's say that they don't take that line, because that line doesn't seem very good. They go chump chump. They don't have this in play anymore. Yeah, I think we're clear to attack. Very odd though. I changed your Quantum Woodlands deck to have black instead of red, so I could add Psychic Frog as an additional threat. We had talked about doing that. I think that is an okay way to build the deck. My big issue with that is that having 4 shifting woodlands in your deck makes Psychic Frog not very good because you have a lot of lands that don't cast Psychic Frog, and it's a double cast card. When Wrenn and 6 is a double color card that you can cast. They can chump, play Cutter on their turn. Well, they have to chump with both, right? Chump, play Cutter on their turn. No, I took the Cutter. I see the line. Yeah, I didn't see a lethal line through this, but maybe I'm misunderstanding. But their hand is 2 Mutagenic Growths. They can only cast one of them. They have to block both Goyfs. Otherwise, they die. So I think we're fine. So yeah, let me know how that goes, Cosmo. I do think Frog is really nice. Looting has also been nice in the deck too, but they graveyarded a Lightning Bolt? Is that right? I guess they can't really do anything with it. I got the Wrenn for Nexus and it's been sick. I don't think so. Has it been sick because he casted it when you're omnisciencing? Because we have not lost a single game when we've omniscienced and popped off. And so I'm just not that interested in it. Because we just don't seem to lose. I'm gonna cut a Styx for a Cecil in the draw. What was lethal for them? Was it though? Because they have no creatures in play. They have no creatures, so they would have to go Mutagenic Growth. Oh, they could go Bolt me, Dart me into Mutagenic Growth. Yeah, I think that was lethal. I need a freebie every once in a while. That was a weirdly complicated board for what is kind of just simple, normal Magic the Gathering, huh? I gotta lead on Thoughtseize because of Steel Cutter, of course. Might get to flip a Cecil. I think we got to take the show off since they've got the Mutagenic Growth to save it. It's also kind of nice that they just don't really have a good play this next turn, right? So down to 14. And his Iteration, Growth, Dart, Islet, Mystery card. Totally okay with them darting a Channeler here. We were at 9. No, we were at 7 because the Thoughtseize put us down to 7. So they exile a Mountain. So he's in his Growth, Islet, Mystery cards. They bolt the Cecil. Wonder if they should have done that after I dealt them the damage. So I have 2 types in my yard, sorcery and creature, so the looting doesn't exactly help. We're going to wait until we have Delirium to play this Channeler, I think. So they're going to have 4 cards after they draw next turn, Growth, Islet, and then 2 mysteries. Oh, they had 2 baubles, so 3 mysteries. Okay, I think with the Tarfire to give us that instant speed Delirium, we're going to pass and try to maybe get them with this. One on top, one on bottom. So now if I Tarfire in response, my opponent just Mutagenic Growths. But then I get to keep the Channeler alive, so, and then block. It seems good. We've got a Cecil. Let's go to graveyard a Cecil. Then they have a Bolt, and I'm down to 5. Could have Spell Pierce. Maybe not the most likely. Alright, I could be at 5. Their hand is just a Fiery Islet, then a new card here. Okay, can heat the Channeler. 1 unknown in their hand. Let's save that to discard to the looting instead of putting myself in top deck Bolt range. that was their draw this turn, which means their last card is either like... No, I think they would even cast a Bolt or a Dart for the Surveil. I think their last card is probably a land. They also looked at their own top cards. Yeah, it was a land. But they are not shuffling. They like their top card. Let's flashback the looting. Let's keep the good cards and discard the bad cards. Right, there's a steel cutter. They also draw another spell. Yikes. Now I'm dead to another bolt. If I haste the Channeler, put them to 8. I do have technically lethal the following turn. I kind of just need to have 2 blockers this turn, though. It's going to be tough. Yeah, I guess I actually play Cecil, because I can block and flip and then gain a bunch of life. This put me dead to a Lava Dart instead of the Channeler, although I'm not like doing particularly good against a Lava Dart. So 2 cards in their hand. We'll hopefully land. Mutagen growth on your Cecil is lethal for them. So one of the cards is a Mire. They're playing their other card, which is a spell. It's an Unholy Heat, which targets my Cecil. Because I was going to be, I guess, okay, and then they make me chump block. Okay. Yeah, they already flashed back the Dart a while ago. Wow, okay, this is our turn again. So now it's gonna be very difficult for them to double spell. So if I hit them for 3 this turn with the Channeler down to 8, then my FOMO attack plus the Channeler is lethal, and I could maybe make them chump. So I do think I'm supposed to haste both creatures here. Very close game. Going to come down to this last top deck for sure. You can attack for 5. Oh, right. I forgot that FOMO has Vigilance, this is really nice because then the Channeler is lethal next turn. Although not if they play a non-creature spell, then I have to chump, then I have to draw something maybe. So will they fetch to thin? I'm dead to like Lava Dart or like, you know, cantrip into some stuff. Dead to Lightning Bolt. Dead to a lot of stuff. Also not dead to a lot of stuff. Did the most non-creature spells. Yeah, not Bauble or Steel Cutter. Although there's like only 1 Bauble left. They're thinking, so it's probably not Lightning Bolt. It is a spell. The spell is Slick Shot Show Off, which is good for us. So now they have no good attacks, and they're chumping with the Show Off. So should I Surveil, looking for a removal spell or Detective's Phoenix? This puts me dead to top deck Lava Dart, but I'm dead to top deck Lava Dart anyways if I send with both of my creatures, which I'm probably going to, so I do think we should Surveil. Might as well graveyard that. We can't... This also... I guess graveyarding this means if we draw Arena of Glory, we have lethal. Okay, I guess another redraw. Oh boy. Okay. Need to dodge Lava Darts. Need to dodge Lightning Bolt. Need to dodge Iteration. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, we are in a match. Let's just go ahead and play, I guess. We won the match. Never seen that. Okay, on the draw against Belcher. Oh, sorry, I should have fed shocked. Although it should be fine if the Thoughtseize resolves. Magosi deck do. We 3-2'd with the artifact version. We didn't do very well with the lands version. The combo is kind of interesting. I think that just like when we played it in the past, I think it's maybe something that you can have like you could have one Magosi, you could have one Deserted Temple. If you're a deck that already wants to play Peter Parker's Camera and you already want to play Urz's Cave, like I think that this could be kind of an interesting angle for your deck. I think playing as many Deserted Temples is kind of tough. But I think I do think in Dice Factory I'm kind of likely to, if I'm still playing the Urz's Cave, have access to the combo because it makes the Tezzeret so good. But I think as far as like just building around the combo completely, I'm still not super in on it. That's right, we could bestow on the Cecil if we wanted to flip it. Although I'm pretty interested in going Channeler Thoughtseize this turn. GG's card, you're good. I don't even remember when we played last round. How are you liking Prowess? I do think Prowess is pretty good at the moment. It's like, it's maybe the most slept on deck. They flip a Jirari Disruption. Life total shouldn't matter too much, but they might have a random main deck Harbinger. Oh, sorry, I forgot to shock for Cecil. It's okay. Might end up being nice to dodge random main deck Harbinger. Anyways, we'll see if the 2 damage matters. Anybody got any decks? I think we might be here for a while. It's not too often I even throw up the 10-minute prediction, but I'm going to throw up the 10-minute prediction. It's been 4 minutes. My opponent has taken 2 game actions, or 1 game action. There was no Zoo at the PT. There was some Zoo at the PT. People played it. It wasn't very popular. Okay, I think I took a quick look at this. Hold on, let me take this Thoughtseize now. So they have 2 lands. They have Whir and Tamashi. I think I'll take the Whir, so the Tamashi and the Future Belcher is worse. Okay. Don't exactly like these Ugins very much. They seem like kind of impossible to cast if you don't K command, and I think that they're probably just too high on the curve. Avarice is a rough card to play. It does look pretty fun and interesting, but it doesn't necessarily look particularly good. Okay, so they've milled a Lotus Bloom, but if they leave it in the graveyard for the Tamashi, then it's not going to be workable. They grab War of Invention instead, and they play Jirari Ruin. So they do need an untap land to combo me next turn. Is Insatiable Avarice not a modern playable card? It's not a card that I would recommend playing, no. That's good. So I do want to Tarfire the Thundertrap Trainer. So if they do end up Flare of Denialing the Phoenix, then we get both creatures off the board instead of them sacking the 0-3 instead. I think we're just going to exile the Goyf and the Wraith and then keep Delirium. And if they draw an untapped land next turn for lethal, they do. Not a lot we can do about that. The Texas Phoenix is kind of an interesting one. I'm just so unlikely to be able to. I would have to if I draw a Street Wraith off of this FOMO, then I could pop off. I think I'll just graveyard it to maybe make another Phoenix Bestow a bit easier. I do think there's also kind of a chance that they flare this, which would make the Phoenix Bestow also more reasonable. They should flare this because otherwise I just have a 2-turn clock. Then talk about Zoo at the PT. I mean, some people played it. I saw someone say why there was none. There were some people that played it. I think that, I mean, Zoo is a deck that for me is kind of hard to figure out. Like Zoo losing the die roll is really, really tough. If Boros has a lot of answers to your Leyline Scion, it's tough. If you don't have Leyline Scion against them, that matchup's really bad. The Belcher matchup should be pretty good. I think the Goryo's matchup is probably not all that good. Titan matchup is probably incredibly bad. Okay, yeah, so our opponent needs an untapped land to try to win, but they don't even have the Belcher in their hand necessarily. That always kind of randomly burst into popularity, disappear. Yeah, I agree. It feels like it feels like Zoo is a deck that, like, when it's popular, it's kind of hard to tell why it's just like risen to prominence, you know. I think if losing the die roll is tough for any deck, it's not a good deck. I mean, yeah, maybe, but like just like play draw and Boros is, or sorry, for Zoo, like Zoo on the play is really, really scary, and on the draw it's like standard deck. It's very weird. Yeah, they found a whir off of their trainer or the archaeologist. I think it was archaeologist. So we know they have Tamashi and whir, but we don't know that about an untapped land. So if they have an untapped land, they can go whir for a Lotus, play untapped land, crack the Lotus for white, cast Tamashi with white floating, then start making mana and drawing cards. But then they would also have to have a payoff. Yeah, let me look at any more decks y'all sent. Again, this Parker Luck Eldrazi deck, the mana looks bad, the deck looks slow, but did look really fun. I don't think I like Ugin that much. I like, a lot of times Emrakul will end up costing like 8 mana, and like it's like 8 Eldrazi mana, and so like casting Emrakul is more powerful, and it's about the same casting cost. Like if you want to play this much top in it, you just might want to play 4 Promised Ends. I think the card is just mostly better. You could also play more Devourers. I guess I also will say I don't exactly understand Ice Till in this deck. Like the okay, they concede. I know that the dialogue tree has kind of been like Ice Till is good in Eldrazi. Broodscale is an Eldrazi deck. Let's play Ice Till in this deck, which I think kind of makes some sense, but it's definitely a little. I feel like I have like some amount of disconnect with this dialogue tree, this mental dialogue tree. I'm not sure exactly why. I think I do want to play the spell bombs. Maybe not all 3. So I have like 2 spell bomb, 2 heat for Tamashi. I think I cut all the phoenixes too. Very low to the ground. But like maybe it's the case that like, you know, just you're a fast combo deck. You're a fast combo deck with Broodscale. And if that plan isn't good, you just get to move into like Ice Till Emrakul, which is also like Ice Till is another reason to play 4 Emrakul, I think. I could see this being a good argument. It's just feels like a little off plan. Simic Broodscale. If you Neoform into Broodscale, you get the counter immediately. It's kind of cool. 1 Mausoleum Wanderer for Agatha's Soul Cauldron. It's kind of cool. The opponent's a Molda 6 on the play. We're 6 minutes up on clock. This deck definitely looks interesting enough to play test. I think beyond that, I would need to see it in action a little bit. All right, I think Stern Scolding is popular enough that I want to lead on the Thoughtseize instead of the Channeler here. We also may get to mana screw them because we've got Vexing Bauble for the Bloom. Yeah, let's take the land. Try to maneuver around the Scolding a little bit and plan to Vexing Bauble the Lotus Bloom. Sack Wander for Cauldron, sack to Neoform. Yeah, Wander's kind of interesting. I think a very, very cool looking build. We have not used the Symbiote yet. I've been saying this, but I just keep like having. don't know. It's like the symbiote seems so sick, and you like put it on FOMO and stuff. It also seems really slow, but you discard it for value, and it's like I don't know. It's like kind of good against Graveyard Hate. You just cast the thing against Graveyard Hate. That's funny 6. In my brute scaling, you kind of need something to do that's not brute scale. I agree. So like maybe that is okay. So we'll trade this for the Scolding this turn. Yeah. So maybe that is a good reason to be playing. Oh, I guess we'll not play the FOMO. Guess they knew this was bait. I want to find a Nethergoyf which gets around the Scolding. Oh, right, sorry. Classic Vexing Bauble. We found Delirium, though. So I want to save the Spellbomb for the turn that this comes down, which is, this turn. All right, 2-0. Okay, we are 2-0. Somehow this match bugged out. Not plus 10 minutes on clock here. Even though they aren't playing, the match is just to end. Okay, tapped Hallowed Fountain. Let's lead on the Cecil here. I was thinking about maybe just making sure I could cast FOMO turn 2. We'll see if they're playing a control build. Them having the Narset avatar makes me think it's more likely. Could also be Quantum Energy. Looks like it is Quantum Energy. So I guess we're going to get the Swamp, since I'd probably rather cast Goyf than Heat this next turn. Read that. 2-3 Goyf, 2-3 Cecil getting in. So they might be like searching a plains here, and then ephemerating. They do find the plains. Then they prismatic ending instead. Guess that's okay. So this attack means if I crack a fetch, we get to, or play a Blood Crypt, we get to flip the Cecil. Let me cast a FOMO, discard a Phoenix first to see what we draw. They might Solitude in response, in which case I wouldn't have wanted to attack. They do have a Solitude. If they draw a land, it's a bit awkward that they get to draw 2 cards off the Riddler, but then they're pretty behind on board, so seems okay. Yeah, this is the first league with this deck. Let's hope they didn't draw Ephemerate. We do have the Unholy Heat if they have the Ephemerate, so it's not the end of the world. We do have a second basic. I feel like lately I've been drawing all my basics. If I have like 2 basics, I've drawn at least one of them against these Phantom decks. Not this time, though. The hand is Riddler, Mystery card. Pretty incentivized to cast the Unholy Heat. I guess I'm going to lose Delirium if I try to bestow the Phoenix. Yeah, we'll just go Channeler. Wave hold up the Heat. So they're at 3, I'm at 13. Pretty big swing. Hit them for 10, gain 8 myself. We know their hand is Riddler, Mystery card. The best card they could really have is Ephemerate, but we have Heat to break up the Ephemerate on the Riddler. So if like the 2 Mystery cards after they draw off the Riddler are both Ephemerate, it's not so good, but should be doing pretty good barring that. I guess it's 3 Mystery cards because they get to draw 2 now that they hit the land. Sisse in Modern? Sisse, okay, this is Sisse. Search your library for a legendary permanent with mana cost less than the power. I can't even look at this. All right, well, did they find 2 Ephemerates? Graveyard the Goy for a little bit of value. They didn't find 2 Ephemerates. They haven't conceded yet. We have 3 lethal attacking. Nice. So do you want to leave in all my cheap removal? I think we definitely want to try to leverage our Symbiote Spider-Man here. I think I'm going to cut the Cecils. Try this. Maybe I'll leave in 1 Cecil cut. Maybe 2. Cut 2 baubles with the Vexing Baubles in. I think I got behind that. So how is this supposed to work? I mean, it's not probably, but I meant you're supposed to put this into play. Return creature card to the graveyard with 2 counters. When it dies, when a legendary creature dies, deals power damage equals with power to its opponent. So you Cauldron Composite Golem and you Cauldron Sisay. So you sack a creature to make 5 to activate Sisay to get Rakdos joins up to bring the thing back. Pretty cool. Unironically, pretty cool. Pretty goofy. Oh, I should have brought in the stupid Pyroclasms, huh? Composite Golem seems like a cool Cauldron card I haven't seen. It is pretty cool. Okay, so no Solitudes, no Ephemerate Rebounds. All this is in play. Let's go ahead and discard Styx. The FOMO? Maybe discard Looting. Yeah, I might end up hardcasting this. We'll see. Tempo. Some Goblin Engineers to Entomb Golem. Oh no. Don't summon Goblin Engineer. Not to this stream. He doesn't trigger on hitting Planeswalkers. Wait, Miles Morales is also part of this somehow? That's not so good. Alright, this is part of the plan with this card is with a Rest in Peace you get to maybe draw some cards with it, but kind of seems more likely that they're going to chump here. But maybe that's not so bad either. I think we should heat the Teferi. I guess Rest in Peace is another reason to keep in all the Cecils. Yeah, I don't know if we can just beat the hardcast Riddler. Let's go to game 3. I think we go down on Nethergoyf. I want the Pyroclasms too. Seems okay. I don't think they play mini Rest in Pieces. It's like 1 or 2. We've got Thoughtseize in our deck. Definitely like this if we had 1 more land. Easy enough to say, right? Alright, let's keep this, put back the second FOMO. I see that Simic Ritual did well in one of the challenges. I mean, I have seen that. I don't know exactly which challenge you're talking about. It feels like it kind of continues to do well in challenges. 1 rip, 1... Wait, main deck Sanctifier. Wow. That's pretty interesting. Gotta graveyard that. Need to find a second land. Do find a second land. Think if they've got Solitude Ephemerate, they're gonna have it. I'm okay just playing second Channeler this turn. It's more aggressive anyways, and you kind of want to play these on the same turn if you can. Like if we draw a land, we want to play both. And because when this deals combat damage and flips, it untaps itself, so you can untap a different creature with FOMO and deal damage to two things. Do we ran into Sanctifier? Okay, I don't know. I think I'm done Rakdosing for the time being. Or at least non Carnage combo with Rakdos. Funny enough, I think that actually gets through Sanctifier and Vec, not Rest in Peace. But it's lunchtime for me. Gonna be back with a challenge tomorrow. Sponsor campaign starts tomorrow. I don't know what I'm playing in the challenge. No more Rakdos for 3 weeks, maybe.